you seen Castaway?
No.
Hello, we're back with another Play or Pass, where we jump into some co-op and multiplayer games and give you our thoughts on whether or not they're worth picking up. If you want to join myself and Nex for more co-op and multiplayer content, feel free to hit the sub button below and sit back each week as we review and play through all sorts of different titles. Today we're covering Raft, an ocean-based online survival game that puts you in the shoes of a seafaring survivalist as you island hop around the last pieces of land scattered across a massive body of water. The beginning of your journey has you find yourself floating on a tiny wooden raft with a hook made from old plastic. And along the way, you and any friends who want to join you will have to stave off dehydration, hunger, and the aggressive sharks that circle your little craft looking for an easy meal. As you learn to survive on the water, you get the materials, unlock recipes and technology, and ultimately work towards building your own little fortress in pursuit of better loot, scavengeable wrecks, islands, and the mysterious radio signals that build the storyline. Like many survival games, Raft drops you off in a seemingly hostile and confusing world. A world which you either learn to tame or die trying. The survival genre has been extremely popular in recent years, and many companies have tried their hand at getting in on the action. Raft has now been out in early access for a little while, so we jumped in to let you know in 2021 if Raft is a play or a pass.
Aptly named, I can't think of a better way to sum up this game with one word. In Raft, we spawned on a small 4-tiled raft, where we endeavoured to expand the raft so we could sail around and figure out what to do next on our raft. Oh, and there's sharks. Oh, I might need to dive. Oh my goodness, what the hell? That's...
I'm going to see if there are any sea monsters down there.
You have the option to pick from 5 world types that scale in difficulty, ranging from unlimited materials, kind of like a free play mode, to making survival in the world a lot more challenging, for instance by adding more sharks. We went for a normal difficulty world to get that middle ground experience. The visuals are acceptable. There is room for improvement, although I'd say it doesn't hold the game back in any way. We found ourselves lost at sea, and like in any survival game, our eyes were set on gathering what we could find. From our raft we could collect floating debris by picking it up or using a plastic hook, and the idea is to slowly evolve your crafting abilities to improve your competence in survival. And for us, slowly is an understatement. After some of our raft was chomped off by a shark, we floated towards an island that we decided to investigate, only to find that there was nothing really there, and our raft had decided to move on without us. And then the island disappeared from beneath us.
What?
Oh, what the hell?
Oh, that happened to you too.
The island just disappeared for you.
Yeah.
And then we died. So we found ourselves lost at sea and, like any survival game, started gathering. The 3 core materials being plastic, wood and palm leaves. There is a crafting menu with a load of options along with the materials required for each. We were able to expand the area of our raft and from here start to make it our own. The joy of being able to purify the water that surrounded us was our first glimpse at what the raft could become.
A core element to any survival game is the crafting and researching, the thing that takes you from a dishevelled mess to a master of your environment. And in Raft this is no different. After you collect enough scrap and ocean junk, you can build yourself a humble little workbench. With this bench you examine different components and materials that help you to unlock more and more advanced technology, ranging from smelters to head torches, batteries, armour, oxygen tanks, flippers, and most importantly a barbecue. Because you know what pairs well with draftwood rafts? Fire. This progression makes up the backbone of many survival games like Rust and Ark, and the execution and balance here in Raft is almost bang on. It's not too much of a grind fest that the fun is all sucked out of it, but there's just enough to make it a bit of a challenge to find and figure out all of the things you need to do in order to progress and get those next bits of gear and equipment.
Raft's survival element seems to be the perfect blend of exploration and chilling in a great atmosphere. Occasionally some incidental music which complements the backdrop fades into the otherwise quiet environment and hangs around for a while before fading back out. The 3 elements of survival you have to manage are thirst, hunger and health. Over time we were improving our raft and ability to stay alive with new recipes that we researched. We organised areas to suit different purposes, a second floor for our comms equipment, a recipe board in our food and drink area, and a purpose-built debris gathering section. It's not much, but it's home. To add some variety, there are plenty of non-disappearing islands and floating rafts to loot from. We actually ended up doing this gameplay loop for quite a while before questioning whether there should be more to this game. And it turns out there was. Once you have researched and built a certain selection of items, you can embark on a storyline. You have a journal which keeps track of your progress and holds the notes you'll discover along the way. This is a refreshing change from your typical sandbox, with each chapter carefully included to tell a story, offering genuine puzzle mechanics. For example, to figure out how to build specific tools or to get past various locked doors. Despite a few bugs we experienced at the start of our first session, Raft was a pleasure to play. The crafting interface was clean and offered tangible progression that consistently improved the experience. By the end, we were really happy with what our Raft had become, and there is still plenty more that we can build going forward.
Currently on Steam, Raft sits at an overwhelmingly positive rating, and the more we played, the more we started to see why. When we first jumped in, we thought it was just another survival game cut from the same cloth as so many others. But the quirks and the charm of the game began to show through as we grew our tiny little raft from a castaway-style hermit craft to a meatier, more homely vessel, on which we could catch debris, cook our food, purify our water, and even grow crops. The overall feel you get from the game is a little lonely if played solo, but with a friend you find yourself helping each other to survive in an empty world that's constantly trying to kill you.
Oh.
The music adds to this vast, open and solitary feel. However, the bright and cartoon-like graphics pick up the mood just enough to keep the game feeling atmospheric and fun, rather than depressing and lonely. In addition, the game has something of a storyline that other survival games lack. You're tasked with setting out in hunt of signals to find clues, loot, and pick up on the trail of the next mysterious wreck, outpost or island. This sense of purpose makes a massive amount of difference, and you feel like you're always working towards something rather than just surviving for the hell of it. And while there are a few problems with glitchiness and the repetitive nature of the landmasses, the game is still in early access, and for the most part, through the enjoyment we had, these things were mostly forgivable. Overall, we gave Raft a 4 out of 5, and for us, it's a play. Let us know in the comments if you've played the game and what you think, or whether or not you agree with our review. We're the Bullet Sponges, and we'll see you in the next one.